Hello YouTube and welcome back to part 6 of Let's Build Lake Town. Now I've had quite a long break from this, about 2-3 weeks from my last recording, not from my last upload, and I did actually record an episode. I didn't really do much, I had no idea what to do really, and I don't know what happened to the footage. I seem to have lost that somewhere, but yeah, so I've got a little bit of inspiration, so I've decided to come back to it. But just before we get into that, there's a few things that I wanted to actually test out from ideas that I've seen elsewhere on the server, and the first one is by putting fence gates in place of these fence posts, just to see what that looks like. To look a little bit more interesting maybe. And I've just realised that it won't actually work on these sections, so that's that idea thwarted. The other thing is I was being shouted at because I was being stupid with these rails, so I fixed that. Whoever was shouting at me, can't quite remember who it was now, but yeah, so sorry, I fixed that. And actually another thing that I've noticed now looking at this is it's all sort of, you know, we have the variation with the spruce, but it's already dark and I'm not really sure if I like it or not. And you know, when I first built this I thought it looked really good, but you know, all the textures just seem, oh, that bloody that trapdoor, look at it. Stay. No, stay. Stay. Right. But yeah, it does look too clean. It's too dark as well for my liking. I might be trying to put some the painted textures in or something maybe. But I'll save that for another episode. Hopefully you guys can comment, give me your opinions on what ideas you might have to make this a little bit nicer. But I'm going to talk about more sort of my inspiration and like sort of planning that I'm going to be doing here. So this side I'm going to have as like a trade area, so we're going to have blacksmith and tanners and all that kind of stuff. And then further up there we'll be having, you know, all the normal market stalls, shops, pubs. We'll be having a small little poor district and middle class district with a barracks and a little jail just off to one side. And then we'll have the, right at the back, we're going to have like the main town hall from Esgaroth and sort of richer style houses. And then we'll have this nice big open lake market type thing in the middle. So we're going to sort of carry on this, and the idea that I was getting from here was we're going to have like 3 different directions. So you're going to walk in here. I still have no idea how to cover up this bit, and I actually need to move all of this wall out by 1 block. As you can see here, it's 3 wide, and then here it's only 2 wide, so there's still quite a lot of stuff that I actually have to fix on this. But yeah, so the idea was we're going to have sort of 3 different directions to go to. You're going to have one that's going to go down here, and you can get in like a little gondola and it will go take you around all the different parts, because I did want to have, you know, waterways like Venice just going off in every direction. Sorry about jumping around. One was going to go sort of flat and straight, and it's probably going to be this side, be flat and straight, and then this one's going to go up, so you've got 3 tiers straight right off the bat. And I'm thinking about this one going up, and I think that's the one we're going to start with today. So I'm not going to worry too much about the sort of supports underneath. We'll just worry about that later. I'm not going to worry about it all being one colour either, because we can always just come back and edit that. But we want to start thinking about it sort of being raised. So this here is going to be the sort of fence along like that, something like this anyway. And then maybe we have sort of stairs there, go up, and I don't want it to go up too high, so maybe only 3, maybe only 2 actually. Yeah, we'll only do 3, so it'll go up, and then this will be sort of the start of the next level. And this also isn't going to be a very big area. This is sort of going to be maybe a large pub here, sort of on this raised platform, and it's going to go a staircase and a bridge going over to the next area. That seems like a little pretty cool idea. So you know, you're going to have bits sticking off in all sorts of places. Should look pretty cool, hopefully. The other thing that we need, and I'm actually thinking move this over maybe by 2 blocks so that we have a little bit of a gap there, and that way this will look a little bit more like less planned and a little bit more random, in the sense that it'll look like it's just being sort of pieced together as and when it can fit there. I don't want this to go out too wide. Say this is going to be the walkway up here. The walkway can be 4 wide, so I'm going to have to do it 5 wide, aren't I? So if we have the fences, like railings, on this side this time, get a fence out, there we go, there, and there, and there, and then, like I said, don't worry too much about all this, so it sort of goes like that, and we can have a nice little section going along under here. This will probably be slabs, just so it's not so cramped with the headroom. We've got that section that can go another block out, and that'll be the start of one of the buildings. This will probably be the pub, and I might actually start building that in this episode. Should be interesting, shouldn't it? So this is going to be the, sort of one of the side walls. Right, yeah, so that's what I'm going to do in this episode. Okay, so yeah, that's what we're going to do in this episode then. We're going to actually start sort of planning out what's it called? The pub. That was the one. That's the word. So actually, just off camera, I'm just going to bring this all the way out so I sort of know where the supports are going to roughly be, because I do want this to be properly structured. So I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so we're back. So I've just sort of done this under here. You know, just sort of planned this out. You know, just brought it all the way out in stages. So we've got a rough idea where this is going to be, and we can start sort of roughly planning that. And I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 wide. Sorry. I've got an 8 wide gap between this pillar and this pillar, which is going to be the start of the first house. So, interestingly, what we have to work with here, we're going to do, I can get rid of all that as well, don't need that there, and this is going to be quite a wide area, a wide walkway. So what I'm thinking for this walkway at the top is, you know, maybe there's sort of tables and chairs you can sit outside the pub. Everyone likes sitting outside a pub. It's always a nice thing to do, especially in the summer. So we'll just, probably in this episode, all I'm going to get to do really is sort of plan out this pub. And it's definitely going to be a 2-storey, possibly a 3-storey building. It's definitely going to be one of the bigger buildings in the whole town, is my idea. I don't really want to do lots of big buildings, but I do want to do lots of like tall buildings, sort of congested together. I think that's like going to be a good look. So we've got 3 along the 3 sections of 3, and is that going to be big enough? I think if we do 3 sections of 3 and then maybe 5 or 6 sections across, should look quite interesting. I'm really tempted to put a diagonal on this corner here. I'm just going to try and line it up and see how that looks. Go up like that and then down here. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, and that'll be 1, 2, 2, 3. That goes there like this. So I suppose that kind of works. But yeah, I suppose this is because I've been looking over the western stuff. But I definitely like the idea of this sort of diagonal entrance to the building. So there's 1, 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, up. It's 3 sections. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Is that right? So we have 4 sections across there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That should be right. No, it's not. Okay, so I've done a 4x5 here. But that's definitely more than big enough. This is going to be quite hard for me to furnish. I don't really like doing big buildings. Hence, hobbit holes. Although hobbit holes are surprisingly big. Or at least the ones I build are, anyway. Go up by 3, up by 3, by 3, by 3. I'm saying up by 3 and I think I'm actually going up by 4, but oh well. So that goes up as well, that goes up as well. There, there, and there. So that's the very basic frame for our pub. And this pub is going to have an upstairs, a downstairs, maybe a top floor full of like bedrooms and stuff. But already you're gonna walk in through this gate. I still need to work on this, and you know you're gonna be hit by this raised building over here, and then there's gonna be sort of lower buildings over there. You're gonna have lots of stuff going on around here, like carts and crap all around there. So in my mind's eye, this is looking pretty good already. Another thing I have to do as well is copy and paste this over, because like I said, from that tower to that tower is going to be sort of 1 block, and we're going to have 3. So we go tower to tower to tower to tower. So there'll be 4 towers in total if you're following that. So that's probably how long that wall is going to be. So I'm just gonna. I won't bother about this downstairs planning because that can just be done off camera later on. Something else I actually want to do is give this quite a big overhang. So I'm also going to do that like this. And if you guys have seen my how to house exteriors, this is something that you can do. Depending on the size of the building, I don't recommend doing it on really small buildings because I feel it doesn't quite look right. So yeah, there's that. That can go up, and that can go across here like that, and we can have a pillar that goes down there, and like that. This pillar is probably going to be changed to a cobblestone wall, and that can be sort of edited at a later date. So we have all these, and then we're going to bring these beams all across as well. This is sort of the planning for the next layer. This is where all the bedrooms are going to be. I might turn this into a brothel as well. Not too sure. It's a lot bigger than I was expecting it to be, this building already. But that's good, I suppose, because you know it fills up a lot of space. And especially being so close to the entrance, it sort of gives a great first impression of the build. Ooh. Not too sure, we'll leave that section. So now we have the basic frame there. I also need to think about how this is going to look. And I think adding a circular tower here might not look too bad. So we'll see about that anyway. I'm going to put a block here and here, one sticking out, and there, and there. This has gone wrong somewhere. Okay, so that size that I was going for is definitely far too big. This one, on the other hand, this might still work. If we just do a 3x, that's not even a circle, is it? Okay, so I've completely forgotten how to make circles. Hang on a minute. I'm gonna go 3 there, 3 there. Get rid of those. Get rid of that. There we go. There's our 3x3 area. So this is going to be sort of a small tower that goes up like so. This is probably just going to house a staircase, and it's just going to add a bit of variation to a probably very square, very flat building. So yeah, that can go up, and that can go, come, there we go, up like that. Probably going to be a bit taller. Let's see, we will put that up, that, and that, and up again, and up again. So we'll work on this side first. Let's see, if we're going to have this tower, and that's sort of the shallower end. It's really hard to picture things without actually doing them, and I don't want this episode to be like forever long. Definitely trying to cut down the length of my episodes, especially since I've switched recording software, and it takes now anywhere between 2 and 3 hours to render one video, whereas before in that time I could probably get 2, maybe 3, depending on the length out. So we'll just leave that like that for now. That can go up again. I'm gonna have this as a downstairs section as well. I'm thinking about raising this whole thing up by 1 more block already. Let's see. Right, well, I'll just build this up a little bit, and we'll see what we have, like how tall it gets. Okay, yeah. So this is getting really, really stupidly tall. Oh, okay. I've just had a great idea. In the wetter model of the Prancing Pony, there's this really, really great curve. I'm just going to get some dark oak, and I can try and recreate that curve. Just to show you sort of the idea of what I'm trying to achieve here. I need stairs as well, and I probably need full blocks. And then after that I'll probably end this video, because there's been a lot of talking and stuff before I actually started building, so it's probably going to get on to quite a long episode. Then we can have a stair block like that, and then another stair block, and another stair block, and we'll try and copy that on the other side. I think I might have done this too, what's the word, too stylized at the moment. We'll find out in a sec. So we want to, that needs to be a stair block there, a stair block up, and then under, and then up again. And that's not right. It's not at the right thing. Right, let's bring this all the way up. And we want to do full block, a stair, and we can just build our way down. I actually want more of a curve than that, so we'll swap these out. Sorry that I'm going quiet. I do this when I think, as you probably know by now. How's that look? Does that look okay? Suppose we have to wait and see till you know what the whole thing's going to look like before we can actually make a proper judgment. But it's going to be something like that. The shape of the roof. We've got these bits sticking up there. That's going to look great. I don't want to do a sort of normal A-frame roof, because I don't want sorry, I don't want to do a normal A-frame roof because I don't want the top to be like stupidly over the top. Okay, yeah, there we go, because I didn't do the overhang on that side. So that's sort of the shape of the roof that I'm going for. Probably will change a little bit and not be so drastic going up there. But yeah, that's just sort of the basic idea that I'm going for. I'll just fill out the rest of this frame on the side, and then this video will end. So I'm going to bring that across, and across all the way there as well. And you know, let's just get a random shape going on here. Why not? That's quite nice. So yeah, this is the start of our first building in Lake Town. A nice, small, interesting, well, say small, a nice, big, interesting pub. So before I do the next episode, I will be sort of doing all of the framework down here, maybe bring all of this platform out and across there, and possibly raising it up a block, just so that down here we have a little bit of wiggle room to work with, because at the moment, you know, it's only going to be 2 blocks high, sort of this room. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. But thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.